how difficult was it as a young guy? I think you were 19 when they were booing you, and you mentioned kind of like you're not naturally like a really overt out there guy. So how hard was that to take, and what did you learn from that about yourself?
It was tough. I wouldn't recommend people go out and do that on a year-to-year basis, get booed on home ice. As you said, it's great to be booed on the road. That means you are doing your job properly. But I learned a lot about myself, just how to respond. It took some time, obviously very young, very immature, maybe very naive about expectations and pressure and where you're selected, what your contract looks like, all the rest of that. Probably didn't understand the magnitude of kind of what was going on with respect, understanding people's jobs are on the line, head coaches, GMs, trainers, teammates. You're happy to be in the league and you don't realize that that's not enough. And you need to perform and play at a high level. That's the expectation. And then when you start getting booed, it only exacerbates it. To your point, we started to drink heavily after games to kind of take the pain away a little bit, or the feeling of the desperation and the uneasiness, sadness of what was kind of transpiring around me. And then ultimately, you come to a realization that you're the only one that can get yourself out of it. And had a conversation with a sports psychologist who challenged me with standards, and I didn't have any, so I created some. And ultimately, when you're going through those moments, you have to have something to lean back on. You have to utilize the assets that you have. Obviously, I had some talent, but that wasn't going to be enough. I had at that point, a weak mindset. Very much a victimhood mentality. It was always somebody else's fault. It was always the fans' fault for booing. It was my teammates' fault for pinching. It was the referee's fault for giving me a penalty. It was everybody's fault except my own. And, I think that's where I kind of grew up in dealing with all of that notoriety and pressure and expectation. And ultimately, I think that's where I kind of grew up and said, all right, time to be a man and accept the blame and expect the responsibility and take ownership of your career and figure out, if this is how good you want to be, then how do you get there? How dedicated are you going to be? What are you willing to sacrifice on a Friday or Saturday night? All the rest of that. And so as the rest of that season went on, that was about game 50 or so, was already kind of climbing my way out of the abyss. And then, kind of set standards and started doing things the right way and really showing up with a purpose and showing up every single day with a purpose. And ultimately started to see some improvements in my game. And then we got number 99, and that kind of diverted everybody's attention. And I could kind of go off and really kind of fix myself and fix my game and become the player that I wanted to be.